Hi, everybody. Welcome to another weekly live stream. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm so happy to see everybody. Thank you for being here. Please remember that Robin is here in the chat room to help me just say hello to everybody and make sure I don't miss any questions or important comments. So before I begin, I see some familiar faces. All right, hello Megna and Fenny. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you for being here. Oh, by the way, Ongi is a little bit mad today, so I apologize if he makes a lot of noise. Well, thank you everybody for being here. Good morning or good afternoon, good evening or good night, wherever you may be. Um, Hello Lolly. Today we're going to be doing the past perfect tense. And so we'll get started in just a little bit. Hi Hamza, how are you? Thank you for joining. Dr. Andy Baldwin, thank you for joining us today. How are you? All right. So before we begin, I again just thank you so much for being here and joining me weekly. Thank you for participating. I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing on this channel. So please continue to support Robin and me so that we can make more videos and make more live streams just like these. So you can support us by liking the video or liking the live stream, adding a comment in the chat or in the comment section after we're finished. You can please share with your family and friends, and you can support us by donating again so that we can make more content. So we have Lolly, Hamza, hi, Samyog, Florin, Mabit, Thiago, Rendell, hi, thank you. I hope that I'm getting your names right. And if not, you can try to correct me. That's totally fine. All right, are you guys excited for today's grammar lesson? We're going to be doing the past perfect tense. You guys might be familiar with that. Some of you, this might be a review. That's okay. Review and practice is important when you're learning a new language, right? Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so again, today we're doing the past perfect tense. So let's begin. As usual, we'll start with a short or brief lesson. Oh, Joanne, I am fine today. Thank you. How are you? All right, so we'll start with the lesson. We'll move on to some practice questions. Then we'll have some test questions. And finally, I'll wrap up by assigning you some homework. Thank you so much for those of you who have been doing your homework. You can also always do them in the homework or in the comment section. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a great way to get more practice. So I hope that you will continue to do that. Okay, so let's begin with the lesson. All right. So we use the past perfect tense to make it clear that one event happened before another in the past. Okay, that can sound a little confusing. So let me try to explain it in another way. We use the past perfect when two events happened in the past, okay? And we use the past perfect to show which one happened first and then which one happened after that in the past, okay? You'll understand a little bit more as I go along. Again, two events happened in the past. The past perfect helps us understand which one happened first and which one happened second. All right. And the great thing about past perfect tense is it doesn't matter the order that we use, okay? We can put the first event first and the second event second, or we can even switch it around. Either one is okay. And again, when I show you examples, you will understand. Another great thing about this past perfect tense is that it's fairly easy to use. It's fairly easy to make because the subject doesn't matter. You know, for some other verb tenses, if I use I and if I use she, we have to change the verb, right? But for the past perfect tense, it doesn't matter what the subject is. I can use I, you, he, she, it, we, they. I can use any of those subjects and I'd still use had plus the past participle. All right, we have more people to say hello to. Hi, Billy, Reza, Algerian man, and Winwi, I think. Thank you so much for being here. All right, I hope you guys are ready for the lesson. So I just went over when we use the past perfect tense and how, right? How to form the past perfect tense. Again, it doesn't matter what the subject is. We always use had plus the past participle. Now let me briefly go into what the past participle is. Can you see? Does it work? Ooh. Let me go. Okay, I hope this shows. All right, there we are. Okay, the past participle, it really depends on the verb. So for some base verbs like talk, the past participle is the same as the simple past tense. Ooh. Okay, I think I need to, I'm having a hard time, but here it is. Okay, and for other verbs like ask, it's the same as the past tense again. Asked, asked, asked. However, for some other verbs like sing, we change it in the past tense like sang, and then the past participle is sung. It's totally different, okay? So it really changes. All right. Another example is swim. The base verb is swim, the past tense is swam, and the past participle is swum. All right. Maybe another example could be ring, like you ring the doorbell. Ring is the base verb. Rang, R-A-N-G, is the past tense, and then rung is the past participle. So it really depends. You might have to use the dictionary or even the internet if you're not sure what the past participle is. I might even have some trouble remembering. Sometimes even native speakers are like, which one was it? Because the past participle is used a little more rarely, but still it's very important. Okay. Please let me know if you have any questions, and Robin and I will do our best to answer them. So, thank you, Prakar, for your support. Thank you so much. You have been incredibly supportive during the past few months, and we really, really appreciate that and want to show our gratitude to you. All right. So, now that you know, let's go over some examples. So, let's look at this one here. I had studied English before I went to Canada. Okay, so can you see what are the two events? Okay, you might notice had studied English is one event and went to Canada is the other event. Okay, and you'll notice I have the had plus the past participle of study is studied. That's why I said had studied. Okay, so let's break it down a little bit. Event 1, I had studied, as I said, and event 2, before I went to Canada. Those are the two events. And in the practice questions, I'm going to ask you to practice identifying the two events that happened in the past. All right, so the first event, event number 1, I used had plus the past participle. As I said, the past participle of study is studied, just like the past tense. Now, what you'll notice about the second event, event number 2, is I don't use had plus the past participle. I use the past simple. Went is the past simple tense of go. Okay, so it's showing that I had studied English. That happened first, okay, and then I went to Canada. Okay, so the past simple verb shows the second event, the event that happened second. Okay, all right, so Hamza Mujain asked, the first action is in the past perfect and the second event is in the simple past. Is that how we use it? That would be correct. Good job. Yes. The first event, we use had plus the past participle, and the event that happened second, we use the simple past or the past simple. Okay? However, let's take a look. Look at this. As I said earlier, you can also switch the event order in the sentence. Of course, the events can't change the order, but in the second event can go in the beginning of the sentence. So look here. Before I went to Canada, comma, I had studied English. We take a little pause there. Before I went to Canada, I had studied English. So Hamza, what you'll notice is that the first event, the event that happened first, it still had plus past participle. Okay? And the event that happened second, event number 2, is still the past simple tense, went to Canada. However, the order of the sentence has changed. I can put the second event at the beginning. Before I went to Canada, I had studied English. Okay? So again, you can switch the order in the sentence. It doesn't matter. Okay? All right. So we're going to move on to the practice questions now. All right? So here is what I would like for you to do. I simply want you to flip the events. Okay, so I have this sentence here. I had never seen such a beautiful city before I went to Vancouver. I would like for you to try switching the two events and write them in the chat. I want you to practice switching them. So go ahead, I'll give you about a few seconds and I want you to try switching them. Okay, Winnie asks, had taken a nap for 20 minutes before I watched your live stream. Is this right? Am I right? I had taken a nap for 20 minutes before I watched your live stream. Yes, I would say that sounds good. Okay, so everybody please practice switching the order of this sentence of the two events. Okay, and Megna says, before I went to Vancouver, I had never seen such a beautiful city. All right, let's hear or let's see some more of your answers. Okay, Samyag Dahal says, before I went to Vancouver, I had never seen such a beautiful city. Okay, good. Emu also says the same thing. It looks like a lot of you guys understand it already, and that's great. So let's take a look. Before I went to Vancouver, I had never seen such a beautiful city. All right, that's right. You guys did a wonderful job. So let's move on to practice question number 2. Here, all I would like for you to do is to identify the two events, okay? Identify the two events in the chat. Which one is the had plus past participle, event 1, and which one is event 2, the past simple tense? Okay, which one is the second event? So go ahead and in the chat, please identify the two events in this sentence. All right. Let's see. All right, Magna. Event 1 is she had read the book. Hello, Hiyato. Hi. Thank you for being here. All right. For those of you joining, we're on practice question number 2 for the past perfect tense. Okay, Samyuk Dahal, she had read the book. Okay, good. Now try to identify everybody. Make sure you identify event 1 and event 2. Okay, and Magna has event 2. She only understood the movie. Okay, looks good so far. All right, Florin, she only understood the movie happened after she had read the book. Amazing. Thank you for that explanation. Joel Castillo, because she had read the book, she only understood the movie. Okay, good. Imu, event 1, she had read the book, and event 2, she understood the movie. All right, looks great, you guys. I'm so proud of you. This is not an easy lesson, but you guys are making it look easy. Very good. Let's move on to practice question number 3 then. Are you guys ready? I think you can do it. All right. Oh, and here's the explanation. As you guys said, past simple is understood, right? She understood the movie and had read the book. Had plus past participle of read is the same as the past simple tense, read. Had read the book. Notice my pronunciation, right? Pronunciation, had read. Okay, so you guys are right. She read the book first, okay, and then she understood the movie. So she understood the movie because she had read the book earlier. Great job. Okay, for practice question number 3, I'd like you to try the same thing. Identify the 2 events. Tell me which one is event 1 with had plus past participle. Then tell me which one is event 2 with the past simple tense. And you might notice it's a little bit different, and I'll point it out afterwards. Unless you want to, that's okay as well. All right, I'll give you a little bit of time to type up your answers in the chat. Okay, Magna is starting to lead. Okay, event 1, he hadn't slept well. Event 2, he was very tired. Looks good. Let's wait for some more responses and see what we see. See what we get. Okay, Imu, he hadn't slept well is event 1. He was very tired. Event 2. Looks good. All right, Lolly. 1, she hadn't slept well or he hadn't slept well and was very tired. Samyog, he hadn't slept well because he was very tired. He hadn't slept well. Well, Samyog, that's a good try, but I wouldn't use the word because there because it kind of switches the order around. Okay, so what you can do is just tell me which one is the had plus past participle and which one is the past simple. And if you want to try, you can tell me which one's event 1 and which one is event 2. All right, I'll give you a few more seconds and then I will go over the answer. All right, everybody, thank you for submitting your answers. Thank you for trying. Oh, Billy says, event 1, he hadn't slept well. And Billy, you are correct. The first thing that happened was he hadn't slept well. Now, what you will notice is that here in this example, we use the negative. So when we use the negative, we use had not plus the past participle. Okay, but in this specific sentence, we combined had and not into a contraction and used hadn't. He hadn't slept well. Okay, why? Well, and what happened? He was very tired after that. Okay, so the past simple we used is was. Okay, he was very tired because he hadn't slept well. Jenabu Diallo, he was very tired because he hadn't slept well. Yes. And Isabel Fadili, he had not slept well because he was very tired. So, Isabel, what you did is similar to Samuel. In that case, we would change the because. We would say he hadn't, because he hadn't slept well, he was very tired. So it looks like some of you guys are trying different ways of forming the sentence. So if we wanted to switch it, we want to say, because he hadn't slept well, he was very tired. Okay, just make sure that you show the cause and effect correctly. Okay, that was a little bit confusing, but you guys did an amazing job, and thank you so much for giving your effort. Let's move on to practice question number 4. Okay, when they arrived, we had already started cooking. Please identify the two events. Which one is the had plus past participle event, and which one is the past simple event? Okay. Winyu, I was sleep well because I had gone out the whole day. Oh, great. I like that you're trying to form your own sentences. I would say there you wrote was sleep well. Now think about the past tense, the past simple tense of the verb sleep. That would be slept. So you would say, I slept well because I had gone out the whole day. Great job. Okay, Emu says, when they arrived, that's the past simple tense one, we had already started cooking. And that's the part with the had plus past participle. Samyog says we had already started cooking when they arrived. All right, Samyog is practicing switching the order around. Okay, great. So let's continue identifying which one is the past simple tense verb and which one is the had plus past participle as well. Lolly, 1, the first event is we had started cooking. And event 2, they arrived. Very good. Hello, Laxman and Dan. Thank you for joining us. Okay, Billy says, event 1, we had already started cooking. And event 2 is they arrived. Okay, well, it looks like a lot of you have the correct answer, so let me go over it very briefly. All right, everybody did a wonderful job. The had plus past participle is had started cooking. Okay, now what you'll notice is that you can break up the had plus past participle verb with the word already. You can do that. Had already started. That's okay. Had already started. And the past simple verb was arrived. Okay, so go no. Oh, I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm sorry. Ngo Bing. Event 1, we had already started cooking. Great job. And 2, they arrived. You guys are right. Had plus past participle happened first, and the past simple verb happened after. Okay, so when they arrived, we had already started cooking. Again, we can break up had plus the past participle with the word already. Great job. Practice question number 5. Okay, let's take a look at this. I will read it for you. A, had you ever visited the US before your trip in 2016? B says, yes, I had been to the US once before. Again, please just identify the two events. Okay, which event is the had plus past participle, and then which one is the simple past event? Please write your answers in the chat. Okay, Megna, I had studied English before I moved to London. Okay, great. I like that your original sentence is looking good, Megna. I think you're gonna do fine on the test questions. Maybe I have to make them a little harder. Okay, is this one a little bit more difficult for you guys? Let me read it again and I'll ask you what to do one more time. So, A, there's a conversation. A said, had you ever visited the US before your trip in 2016? So, A is asking a question to B. And B says, yes, I had been to the US once before. Okay, so this one's a little bit trickier. Can you identify the events? Okay, Lolly, thank you for your effort. One, had been to the US. Two, visited the second time the US. Okay, and Megna says, I had been to the US. Yeah, this one's a little bit trickier. Let's give a little more time. All right. Yes, this one was hard and it's a little bit tricky, as I said. Here is the answer. Actually, both of them were had plus past participle. And you'll notice that A is asking a question. So, had you ever visited the US? Again, I mentioned in the earlier slide that you can break up had plus the past participle with some words inside, like already. In this case, in the question, you can put the subject, right? Had you visited or had you ever visited? And B answers with yes, I had been to the US. Okay, so when someone asks you a question using the past participle, you answer using the past participle. And you'll notice at the end of B's sentence, he or she says before. You can end the sentence with before to show that this has happened. Yes, I had been to the US once before 2016. All right, and it looks like Ngo Bing gave it a try. Event one, he had been to the US before. Great. And event two, he visited again, yeah, the US in 2016. Looks great. Thank you for your effort. Win Nui says, had you ever visited Myanmar before your trip in 2018? And yes, I had been to Myanmar once before. Great. Again, thank you for exercising your creativity. That looks great. Okay, I think you guys are ready now for the test questions. So let's go ahead and get started. Please excuse me. Test question number one. This should be a lot easier. All I want you to do is fill in the blanks. Please try filling in the blanks in the chat below, and I'll give you my feedback. All right, get in your answers. All right. Lolly writes, I had never been to an opera before last night. Emu writes the same. I had never been to an opera before last night. Winnie had never been and before. All right. Megna, I had never been to an opera before last night. Wow, looks like you guys really got it. So let's take a look at the correct answer. I had never been to an opera before last night. Great job. If you guys got this right, please give yourself a round of applause. Thank you so much for your effort. You guys are doing great. Let's move on to test question number 2. All right. I blank blank. Now the base verb I want you to use is walk. Okay, I blank blank 2 kilometers by lunchtime. I blank blank 2 kilometers by lunchtime. Okay, Emu says, I had walked 2 kilometers by lunchtime. Let's see what other people say. Megna, I had walked 2 kilometers by lunchtime. Ngo Bing, I had never been to an opera until last night. Good, great job. Okay. All right, it looks like you guys really understand it. And so I will share the answer. I had walked 2 kilometers by lunchtime. Okay, so even though we didn't specify the second event here necessarily, we have by lunchtime. So that shows when it was lunchtime, I had walked 2 kilometers. That's a lot of walking to do before lunch, right? Good for that person. Okay, test question number 3. You guys are doing very well. Keep up the good work. Let's move on. When I blank home, okay, I want you to think of the verb get. My father blank already blank dinner. And for the third blank, I want you to look at the verb cook. So this might be a little bit tricky, but I'm 100% sure you guys will get this. Okay, so please fill in the blanks, write your answers in the chat. Okay, Ngo Bing. Can I use until? I had never been to an opera until last night. Yes, that's totally fine. You can use before last night, until last night. That's okay. Megna, when I got home, my father had already cooked dinner. Looks good. Let's wait for some more responses. Emu, when I got home, my father had already cooked dinner. Great. Samyag Dahal, when I got home, my father had already cooked dinner. Okay, it looks like you guys really got it. So let me share the answer with you. When I got home, my father had already cooked dinner. Great job. Here's another example of us breaking up had plus the past participle with the word already. Now, just for practice, if I want to switch it, I can also say, my father had already cooked dinner when I got home. Great job. Let's move on to test question number 4. All right. I blank very tired as I blank blank well for several days. Ooh, this one might be a little bit tricky. Okay, think about the word tired and how one might sleep or one might have slept if they're very tired. Okay, so go ahead, as you've been doing, please write what you think is the answer in the chat. Megna M says, I was very tired as I had slept well for several days. Okay, Megna, you are so close. Very, very good. But would you feel tired if you had slept well? That's my clue to you. That's my clue to everybody. Would somebody feel very tired? Would somebody be very tired if they had slept well? So you might want to use something else. You're on the right track. Nicole Bing says, when I got home, my father had already cooked dinner. Very good. All right. Joel Castillo, I was very tired as I had slept well for several days. And Ma V, I was, Ma V, you wrote, I had very tired. Okay, but we want to use the past simple of be. Okay, when you looks like you got it, was and hadn't slept. Emu, I was very tired as I hadn't slept well for several days. All right, when you and Emu, you guys got it. Okay, so Megna M and Joel, the thing is you want to say I was very tired as I hadn't slept well. You want to use the negative here because you would feel very tired if you hadn't slept well, right? But you guys were on the right track. In this one, you just have to use the negative. Okay, great job, everybody. Let's move on to the last test question, and then I'll assign the homework and we'll wrap up. Test question number 5 is a question. Okay, it's the interrogative. Blink, you seen the film Blink. This one's a little tricky, but I know you can do it. Go ahead and give your best shot, and I'll give you feedback. Okay, Florence says, had you seen the film before? Looks like you're on the right track. Let's see what other people think. All right. Emu, had you seen the film before? And Megna, had you seen the film already? Oh, good, good, good. I like that we're starting to get some different answers, and they both work. Okay. Oh, we have a Lee Hyunjung. Have you seen the film before? Okay. Now, Lee Hyunjung, that's good, but we are practicing the past perfect. Okay. So for past perfect, we have to use had plus the past participle. So I want you to try switching your answer to had plus the past participle. Rendell Barreto asks, have you seen the film before? So Rendell, I'm saying the same thing to you that I said to Lee Hyunjung, which is make sure you use the past perfect. In that case, let me reveal the answer. It would be had you seen the film before. Okay, for the past perfect tense, we use had. Great job, everybody. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the homework. So, what I would like for everybody to do, first of all, thank you for your guesses. Thank you for trying. I know it's not easy, but you guys did a great job. And if you make a mistake, we give feedback, we help each other, and you make the right answer. Okay, so thank you so much for your effort and for trying. So, for homework this week, please give some more example sentences using the past perfect tense. Okay, in the comment section below, tell us some things that have happened in your life, 2 events that happened in the past. Okay, use the past perfect tense to tell them. Does that sound pretty easy? I think so. So if you leave your comments in the if you leave your homework in the comment section, Robin and I will check over them and make sure to give you some brief feedback. All right, Mavi, thank you for your love. Thank you everybody for being here again this week. I really appreciate your support. Megna, oh yes, I tried to do my best to make it easy, and I like your word, fantabulous. Thank you. And Emu, oh, thank you so much. Well, we appreciate that you guys come and that you learn and that you are practicing and doing your best. I really, really appreciate that. Florin, bye bye. See you next week. Lolly, thank you for being here. Thank you, Karthik Kayan. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a good week. 이현정, bye. See you next time. And Winnie, I'm really, really, really happy to see people doing their homework, and it's great that you do it right away. What a great way to remember what we learned. All right, bye all. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great week. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.